What's up, y'all? Sakag here with a video about a blog that I wrote when I was a teenager. It was about how I felt that you, the player character, were an evil, scummy person in the Demon Souls and also the Soul series in general. So, sorry if this is going to be really cringy and kind of hilarious, but this is something that I just want to read, just, for old time's sake. So, here we begin. First and foremost, if I decided to write a dictionary, Demon Souls and Dark Souls would be my definition of a love-hate relationship. I loved it so much that I got the platinum for it, but on the flip side, I hated it so much that I wanted to prove that I was better than it. So, I also got the platinum for this reason. This endeavor took me about 80 plus hours and a fourth playthrough, but it was finally accomplished as all trophies were acquired. So, skipping this part about PvP, Okay, now on to the topic. This is 10 reasons why you're actually the villain of Demon Souls. No matter what you do, you will never be the good guy in this game. It is impossible. Most games allow you to choose what side of morality you're on, but not this one. Everything you do is wrong, and there is a reason why. So number 1, crystal lizards. These little shiny, cute creatures are the most harmless things imaginable in existence. They are the only enemy that cannot harm you. I repeat, they will not harm you. In fact, their only defense, if you can really call it that, is to run away from the player, and then to either dig a hole in the ground or run off a cliff to be spared to death from the hands of a human. So why do people spend their time driving these peaceful creatures to extinction? It is quite simple, really. People use the contents found in and on the lizards' bodies to forge dangerous and/or supernatural weapons, just so they can go about their merry business gutting everything else that moves more easily than before. Number 2, game currency. So, this game currency is souls. Yes, you read correctly, I typed souls. There are only a few ways to obtain souls in this game, and unfortunately, there are no good ways of doing this. The most common way to obtain souls is to kill enemies and demons, which killing in itself in this game is usually not considered a noble action. The next common way to get souls is to take souls found on corpses of legendary heroes and such and melt them down into cold, hard currency, thus destroying the soul of that individual. Also, you can get souls by either helping other humans slaughter things, or you can be a really evil guy and go about killing random people's helpers. All in all, this is a very cutthroat way to get the moolah. Number 3, obtaining unique weapons. There are 2 types of unique weapons in this game. There are those that are created with a boss demon souls, and those that can only be upgraded with colorless demon souls. There are several ways to obtain these weapons. Some of them require you to kill a boss, melt its soul down, and combine it with a weapon upgraded several times through items found on crystal lizard hides. Then, the other way is to positively or negatively affect the world tendency of the game in order to conjure the events that allow you to gain these weapons. This does not sound evil on the surface, but for the most part, these events can corrupt many good NPCs found in pure white tendency and turn them into malicious black phantoms so you can kill them and steal their signature weapons. You see, that is wrong on so many levels. Not only are you killing them so you can have their weapons, but you corrupted them in the first place so you could kill them to make their weapons available for you. Oh, and don't forget, to upgrade some of these weapons, you have to kill multiple primeval demons, which are basically the equivalent of a baby demon of the game, and their souls are considered the most pure and therefore the most powerful. Number 4, exploitation of bosses, especially the Dragon God and the Storm King. Most of the bosses in Demon Souls are very large and powerful, and in order to beat them, you must bring them down to your size. To do this, you must find and exploit their Achilles heel. The Phalanx is useless without the Hoplites defending it. The Tower Knight and the Adjudicator can be knocked over so you can attack their vulnerable heads. The old hero cannot even see you, and the Fool's Idol is not even actively trying to kill you. However, the Storm King and the Dragon God are the most exploitable bosses in this game. The Storm King only attacks you and comes into range of being attacked after you have slaughtered most of its children. which gives you the advantage since if the Storm King attacked you on site with its children, you are as good as dead. The Dragon God basically accepts death the moment you show up. The Dragon God is one of the most iconic figures of this game. It is on the disc and the opening cinematic, for crying out loud. In fact, it is potentially the largest organism in the game. Well, potentially, except for the old one. To defeat it, all you have to do is sneak around its lair, or prison, or temple, find 2 giant spears, launch the spears to incapacitate the dragon, and with its body pinned down, you can now reach up to its head and beat it to death without it even resisting. It can only accidentally hurt you with its weakened flame breath as it is dying and gasping for air. Killing off monsters is one thing, but killing one in cold blood is another. Number 5. Relationship to NPCs. The only reason why you make relationships in this game is to serve your self-interest. You only spare the blacksmith, Patches, Thomas, Sagefrick, etc. because you use them for your own selfish needs. In fact, you wouldn't help them or save them if they did absolutely nothing for you. Also, if you have no use for them, you can always kill them so you can take their stuff, and or get a reward for assassinating them because a random mysterious lady named Mephistopheles told you to do so. It is even encouraged by most professional players to kill the NPCs at the end of each playthrough so you can obtain all that you need for the new start. Though this technique is very useful, it is clearly highly immoral. Sure, even if the people will respawn at the start of the next game, it soon becomes a vicious cycle of you repeatedly killing them in order to stock up on their stuff. Not very nice of you, is it? Number 6. Character tendencies and the Northern Regalia. Character tendency is like karma. Do something good whitens it, while doing something bad blackens it. Either way you look at it, having your tendency at pure black or pure white is still evil. Pure white makes you more powerful in comparison to your enemies, so you are a much more lethal killer, while pure black makes you weaker, but you gain more souls as well as more valuable equipment. Also, to maximize the power of some weapons like the North or Northern Regalia, you have to have either pure black or pure white tendency. To obtain pure white, you must slay boatloads of red phantoms, which in order to do so, you generally have to be a more ruthless fighter in order to kill the people who have already invaded you and are out to kill you. This sometimes requires you to camp in one spot and ambush anyone who crosses your path, or you can also take the alternate route and corrupt peaceful NPCs forcibly and turn them into ravenous monsters that you feel justified in killing. To obtain pure black character tendency, you have to either slay a bunch of innocent NPCs in their human forms, or you can invade other people's games and kill them. So, regardless of how you want to maximize your power, you still have to be a bloodthirsty, heartless slayer of all those around you. Number 7. The whole Valley of Defilement. Everything here is diseased and plague. Basically, for you, it is like going to the dirtiest place in a city and then going about killing off all the homeless and sick people there. Also, there is a woman dubbed a saint and her bodyguard who dedicate their lives to catering for the lost and the wretched there. So, you are not only killing off the homeless, diseased people mentioned in the earlier analogy, but you are also going to the nearest hospital and killing off the doctors and the nurses who are spending their time caring for these sick and homeless people. Granted, most people do feel slightly bad about doing this, but you still go through the mass slaughtering anyway in order to beat the game or to receive the many rewards for killing everybody there. Number 8. Red Phantoms and the Old Monk. These two are self-explanatory. You become an evil spirit or a demon whose sole purpose is to kill another person for their body, and possibly kill their friends if you want to do that. The truth of the matter is, you can obtain your body back through helping people or by using a green ephemeral eye stone. But apparently, stealing someone else's body is more fun to some people than helping others out. In fact, many times people will commit suicide in their human form just so they have the opportunity to invade someone and steal their bodies. Also, some people take this a step forward and can become the final boss of the Tower of Latria just so they can prevent other players from beating the game online in timely fashion. This is more than just evil. This is also rude, as people have other things to do in their lives instead of playing this zone multiple times, like, play Dark Souls. Number 9. Rewards for choosing the good or bad ending. Some people, I know, including myself, spend the extra time and effort to beat the final boss to death with only the power of their bare fist. The dude wanted to die anyway, so beating him to death is only prolonging his pain and suffering, which I guess makes it more enjoyable. But the main focus here is the rewards at the end. If you walk away and choose the good ending, you seal the old one away and become a sort of demigod that everyone can admire, and you get the Maiden in Black's soul, which you can use to make a spell called Soul Sucker, which is arguably one of the evilest spells out there, excluding Running Firestorm, as it drains the hard-earned experience of other human players. And it also kills most normal enemies in one hit, giving you more souls from their demise. If you choose the quote-unquote bad ending by killing the Maiden Black, you become a powerful, murder-crazed right-hand demon to the old one, and you also get the old one's soul and the Red Eye Stone. There is no use for the old one's soul except melting it down for pure currency, but the Red Eye Stone is considered the game's honorable duel mechanic, as you can choose to make yourself available to fight opponents on their own free will. However, the consequences are higher, as if you or your opponent are defeated in these types of duels, you lose a soul level. So many people can engage in this sort of combat in order to level up at the expense of de-leveling everyone else around them. Again, as stated earlier, this is a very cutthroat community. Number 10. Revelation of the identity of the Old One. Through talking with Sage Freck and Saint Urbane at the end of the game, the inscription of the Talisman of the Beast, and the observations about the connections between magic and miracles, we learned that in the game, that the Old One and God are actually the same entity. It is surprising to think how this could be, but in this game, it all makes sense. If the opening story for the cinematic was accurate, then a theory for this could be that God created man to have a soul because he was hungry for souls, and then he decided to want to eat them. Essentially, the Old One created a soul farming system. Whenever human souls become strong, the Old One appears, eats most of the souls on the planet, is sent back to sleep, but only to be reawakened when human souls are ripe again. This draws parallels between the actions of the players and the Old One, as it is said that the consumption of souls creates widespread chaos and destruction. The game's religion seems to be a variant of Christianity or Catholicism, which establishes that human beings are made in God's image, which in this sense could mean that humans try to imitate or reach for the status of God. Through our actions, because of our thirst for souls, we do many unorthodox things to achieve our infinite supply of them. We create black phantoms by shifting the world tendencies to receive their unique weapons. We steal souls to satisfy our lust for power. We destroy each other just for the fun of it, and we become even greater demons than the boss demons themselves. There's very little difference in how we as a player behave and how the Old One/God does. So basically, if in this game God is evil, and we are made in God's image, then we can come to the conclusion that we are inherently evil as well. So, for this theory to work, to not be evil, I guess you shouldn't play this game. But seeing how you could just go on and play other video games like Grand Theft Auto or God of War, doesn't make much of a difference. This game takes a definitive stance on the vile and cruel nature of humankind. That's the end of my thing. The rest of it really goes about me murdering people with some Bladestone twin katanas, because those are really hard to get in that game. So, yeah, that's the end of that. So, see you guys next time. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and see you guys later.